Happy Halloween.
Well, happy Halloween to you too, or what in the world do you have?
I don't know
here?
how you can't tell what I am.
Groucho Marx? What is?
Well, obviously I'm Harry Potter. I just look
Harry Potter.
so much like him today.
Oh, you got the tape on the.
Tape.
I just now saw that. There's
on.
tape on the glasses. That's
here we
hilarious.
Go. Is
okay.
that more obvious?
Yeah, now you got the
Is
lightning.
that good
Okay,
there?
yeah. You look good. I think you should look right in that
There
camera.
we go. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween, everybody. Oh, that's
Thanks
awesome.
for listening to the Cross Points podcast.
Yes, welcome.
We have a big episode today.
Oh my goodness. I wasn't sure I even wanted to do this episode. Let's be clear about this.
I mean, just let the record show. David wasn't sure. Wow.
Yeah,
We, as you guys probably know, I am a book blogger.
Yes, a big deal book blogger.
Well,
I mean, come on.
mean,
You're not just your average book blogger.
I am a huge deal book blogger.
Hey, you've been to New York City. I mean, you went to New York City,
I go to
right?
book conferences.
You do
I do the whole thing. And I love reviewing books.
Yes.
And it only seemed fair that I assigned David to read a book.
Yes, you did assign me to read a book.
And in the spirit of all things witchy and Halloweeny.
Oh, yes, Halloweeny. Did she just say that on a Christian podcast? Oh, my goodness. Okay.
I assigned David the first Harry Potter.
Dun, dun, dun.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Wow.
This is mine from home.
Is that yours?
It's an illustrated version.
Wow.
Feel free to read it with your kids.
Very nice.
Well, maybe after you listen to David talk about it, you can decide if you want to read it with your kids.
What do you think about this?
But
you're reading it with your kids, though.
Not yet, but I will.
Okay,
I will.
all right.
They're a little young.
Okay.
3 and 4. I don't know. Yeah. So David, you read it. Well, did you read it though?
To be clear, I hang my head a little bit in shame today. I'm sorry. I only got about 60% of the way through the book.
That's embarrassing, you guys.
It is. I guess if I was getting graded, I would get a D on this project.
For sure. Could you even do a project if you read a book 60% of the way through?
Well, maybe I could fake it.
There we go.
So I'm faking it today. I did read 60% of it.
Okay.
And I think we should rewind before we get into the book, though.
Oh, okay.
And talk about maybe some of the controversy surrounding the book, because obviously a fan like you that has a shirt that says "Books Turn Muggles into Wizards," which probably for half our podcast listeners, they don't even know what in the world that means.
What?
Yeah,
Muggles mean people who are not just regular people, non-wizard folks.
Muggles are regular people.
Regular people.
See, I did not know this before I
really?
read the book.
Because you're a Muggle.
I guess so. Is that a derogatory term?
No, it's not.
Okay, I'm just curious. Okay.
Okay, so there is controversy with Harry Potter and Christianity.
Yeah, specifically with Christianity,
Christians
for sure.
aren't super pro. I mean, not all Christians, obviously.
Right.
I am a Christian, just let the record say.
Let's be clear. Orah loves Jesus.
I do.
She also loves Harry Potter.
I also love Harry Potter.
But not
really
to the same
close.
degree.
It's really close,
Okay.
but really Jesus pulls out.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
Worried about that one.
So let's go over some controversy. What have you heard about Harry Potter? Like, before going into it even, like, what were you like, oh boy?
Well, I tell you, I was a little bit concerned about even putting Harry Potter on our podcast. Potter on the podcast. I mean, there's the preacher alliteration there going on. Because I think probably half of our listeners are going to be like, I can't believe that you're talking and that you read Harry Potter.
Oh my goodness.
Like, it will be like, oh, I might get some email on this.
Some hate mail, you think?
Yeah,
we'll see.
You never know.
Well,
and the reason being is because I think when the book came out, there was this huge issue about the idea of sorcery, magic, wizardry, and all of that kind of stuff that is definitely embedded into the book.
It was a banned book for a while.
Oh, yes. The Pope even said this about the book. I don't even know if you remember. I did a little research on this.
I'm so excited. Yes,
because I had to put myself back in. When was it? It was written in like 97 or something,
Yeah, it's
right?
like 20 years old or something like that.
Like, you got to remember, back in 97, I mean, yeah. Anyway, so this is what the Pope had to say. He said, this is Pope Benedict. He said it described Harry Potter as subtle seductions capable of corrupting young Christians.
Oh, my goodness.
So just so you know.
Oh, my
Not
goodness.
that we're Catholic by any means, but that's what the Pope had to say. And then there was all this issue about, should Christians be reading books about sorcery and magic?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have an answer, but I wanted to ask you the question because you're such a fan.
I'm such a fan.
And you went to ORU.
I did.
And you are a Christian.
Yes.
And you love Jesus.
Yes.
And you're
all of the
also
above.
a Harry Potter fan,
I'm
big
also
time.
a Harry Potter fan.
So how do you reconcile the issue of wizardry, sorcery,
Yes.
witchcraft, all that, reading that, and then still maintaining a love for
a
Jesus?
Christian worldview? Well,
yes,
here's
please.
how I would counter this, because
Okay.
I got into Harry Potter post-college. I was kind of old when I got into Harry Potter.
Really?
My roommate post-college was really into Harry Potter, also an ORU person.
Okay.
And so I was like, well-established Christian at this point.
Yeah.
But I would say that, we studied all the Chronicles of Narnia in
Yes.
theology classes.
Okay.
Everybody at ORU is obsessed with Lord of the Rings.
Okay, right. So
And they have
just
sorcerers in
okay.
them.
I'm gonna stop
Okay.
you there just for a second because just to remind our listeners, you went to ORU. You got a
Yes.
theology degree.
Yes.
And so you're saying in some of your theology classes, you guys studied like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
You studied the Chronicles of Narnia,
Mm-hmm.
and you're saying what about
I'm
these
saying
books?
there's witches in them.
There's witches in
Yeah.
those, but what?
There's wizards and witches in them.
C.S. Lewis wrote about witches.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. I knew
So-
that. I knew that, but I was just wanting to make sure.
So it
but
was
I
something
think
that- yeah.
some of our listeners don't know that. Though.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
Read them.
Yeah,
But
really.
We'll say that Gandalf, he had a huge staff. Somebody could call it a large wand.
Okay. Yes. Right. Okay.
And he was a wizard.
Yeah. Okay.
There was quite a few wizards in Lord of the Rings.
Right.
Like 5 or something.
Okay.
And
You're
and
counting
then,
them. Wizard 1,
Wizard
Wizard 2.
2.
I'm just kidding. Okay.
And also in Chronicles of Narnia, there's a ton of magic in Chronicles of Narnia.
Lots of magic laced throughout
It's a
that
fantasy
whole,
book.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
And C.S. Lewis was really huge into that whole fantasy world.
Yeah.
Like, he thought that Christians should be able to, I'm going to use the word fantasize, but be able to have bigger imaginations than others because of the God-given gift
Yes.
within us.
Mhm.
Yeah, which I think is fascinating.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool. And it helps kids understand things too. So it's
Yeah.
kind of cool. Cool allegories, cool lessons
Right.
to be learned. Similar to Harry Potter, there's really cool
Right.
lessons to be learned. So I don't totally see what the whole drama is, but people are upset. That's fine. But,
Well, there was a lot of stuff that came out in the late 90s and early 2000s where they really felt like J.K. Rowling, who's the author,
Yes.
they felt like she really had a subversive message.
Ooh.
Which is sometimes big in Christian circles. We love the back end subversive. There's some kind of plot under the
Yes.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
sometimes Christians tend to get too fearful.
Yes.
We're scaredy cat Christians, and
Yeah.
we shouldn't be. But the idea was that she had a subversive message, and she was trying to lure people into witchcraft.
Ooh.
Seriously, this was a big deal.
Wow.
And so there was all of this thing, and J.K. Rowling herself never entered into the fray
Okay.
in terms of what her perspective was on the Harry Potter books when it came to witchcraft and her position and all those kind of things until... Do you know that? I don't know if you know this.
I
Dum, dum,
I
dum.
love that you did all the
Okay,
research
good.
on
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I love doing the research. That's my geek side coming out. 2007, 10 years after the book came out.
Okay.
After the first one came out.
Yep.
She had an interview with the Telegraph, which is a London newspaper,
Yep.
and this is what she had to say,
Okay.
which I found really
Ooh, I'm
pretty
intrigued.
interesting. Okay. She said that she had always deflected questions on the issue regarding Harry Potter and any kind of religious overtones or witchcraft overtones or whatever to avoid disclosing the direction in which the books were heading. Now, to be clear, I don't know where the books are heading because I've only read 50%
half of the first book.
60%, let's be clear, of the book. Okay. But she said to me, this is J.K. Rowling, the author, she said to me, the religious parallels have always been obvious, but I never wanted to talk too openly about it because I thought it might show people who just wanted the story where we were going. In other words, it might show people where the story was going to go, and she didn't want to disclose that. She said that there are specific references to Christianity and themes of life after death. She was brought up an Anglican, and now she's a member of the Church of Scotland.
Okay.
And her idea of wrestling with life after death has been a big issue for her.
Yes,
it's
I did
something
know
that
that.
she has struggled with.
And that's a huge element of Harry Potter is what's going on with life after death.
Yeah, she said that she thinks about life after death probably once a week.
Ooh, wow.
Which, to me, I love that.
She's got an eternal mindset.
That's exactly right. She does. I wish more Christians had that perspective.
Yeah.
Like, really thought about, like, what is the hereafter, and what does that mean, and how can I enter into that? And if so, I mean, all those questions.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Harry Potter has become so popular, because these are real issues that people really do think about. I mean, here's another stat.
Okay.
Outside of the Bible, Harry Potter, the series, is the best-selling series in the world.
Yes.
Crazy. Sold more books than anything else except the Bible.
I believe it.
It's crazy.
Okay, so Harry in the book one, he's 11.
Yeah,
so you kind of start. You're supposed to maybe start reading it around that time, and as the books goes on, he gets older. They get way scarier.
Okay.
But you're supposed to be getting older with him.
You're
as you
old
read
enough,
them.
mature enough.
Yeah.
Later on.
So maybe you finish the last book when you're 17 or 18 years old.
So don't have your 10-year-old read the
last book.
The last book.
Yeah, they get a lot scarier.
Okay.
Yeah, they get a lot more intense. But something cool is like you're 11, and it's things that you might be thinking about, or like snide remarks you might have about a teacher when you're 11, or thoughts.
Okay.
And then it also has it was one of the first books that featured a girl who was super smart and helped her friends with just being a very intelligent reader, smart girl as one of the main characters, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
I did not know this. It inspired a lot of
this.
people to be readers because they wanted to be like Hermione, which is pretty
Orah, can we be honest? Were you inspired to become a book blogger because of your love for Harry Potter?
Thank you, Hermione. No.
Yes. Is that how you say your name? Hermione?
That is Hermione. Isn't it kind of funny that if you read it, you have a really hard time with the pronunciations?
I stumbled over it every time.
I know.
I was like, Hermione?
There's such weird
Hermione?
names in them.
I don't know.
I listen to the audiobooks, which I highly recommend.
Okay.
Jim Dale reads them. They're amazing.
I should have done that.
They're amazing.
I probably could have gotten through it.
I know. They're so good.
Okay.
But I also didn't know how to spell things because I was listening to the
Yeah.
audiobooks.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. All right, dive into the book with me.
Okay.
Okay.
So, my blurb on this first book for Harry Potter, it's about an 11-year-old boy who finds out that he can do magic, which he didn't know. He finds out at 11, and he gets to go to a new school to study it. That's the whole premise of the first book.
Right. Okay. Oh, fun fact, too. The original title of the book was not Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. You probably know this.
I can't remember what it was, though.
Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah,
because he's going to school and the whole idea of philosophy.
Yes.
But the publisher made her change it.
Yeah, okay.
Which I think is kind of interesting.
That is really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's I mean...
Oh, hold it.
Yes.
Spoiler alert. We are going to spoil this book. Big time, right?
Even for this guy who only read 50% of it. 60% of it.
I'm never going to live this down.
Oh, boy. Okay, well, so Harry Potter... Spoilers. There's some big spoilers here, but there's an evil guy named Voldemort. Who came and he killed Harry's parents.
Right.
So Harry's been raised by his parents' family, who are
horrific
awful.
Aunt and uncle.
Yes, the
horrific.
Dursleys. Are they amazing though?
That was, you know what? I will say she painted a great picture of some bad characters.
So good. I love the scenes with the Dursleys.
What's the boy's name? His cousin? What's his name?
Oh my gosh, this is so embarrassing. Hold on.
I'm really wondering if she's a Harry Potter fan. I'm really starting to wonder right now.
I just want to say that I'm pregnant. I've got 2 brains in me right
it's
now,
pregnant brain.
and
Okay.
neither of them work.
I'll give you a pass. Anyways, what Dursley?
The Dursleys.
The Dursleys.
And Petunia.
Remember, but whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Oh my
anyway,
gosh.
So it's
Dudley Dursley.
Dudley
Dursley.
She pulled it out, folks. She pulled it out.
Dudley's amazing. He's such a bully.
Dudley's a bully, and he is so self-centered.
Yes.
It is so good because I think kids, I was thinking about, if my kids were to read this now, they could totally just see the selfishness that absorbs him, that really makes him such an evil person.
He counts his presents every year.
He gets 37 presents. Mom and Dad, I got 35 last year. No, I got 37 last year. I only got 35 this year.
It's so great.
And then the parents cave.
Yes.
Such terrible parents. Anyways, okay, sorry. So so Harry Potter grew up in this family.
Yes, he grows up totally in a Muggle world, totally normally.
A Muggle again.
Yes.
A Muggle.
Non-magic. He's just hanging out in London.
And Harry doesn't even know what Muggle is.
Yeah, he doesn't. And then all of a sudden people show up and they're like, guess what? You're a wizard. And he's like, wait, what?
What?
And he gets to go to a school and be around other people who are just like him, equally outsiders or some cool kids.
Right.
And They get sorted into 4 houses.
Okay, now this is a big part of the book too, and I assume it carries over. I mean, I have not read any of the other books. I've not seen any of the movies.
Yes.
Except for the first one.
I
saw it in the theater.
Awful. This is just awful.
Okay, so four houses. Tell us about the 4 houses.
Okay, so there's Gryffindor. Gryffindor is known for loyalty, chivalry, and courage.
Okay.
This is Harry's house.
Harry's house, loyalty and chivalry.
And courage.
Okay.
Okay. There's Hufflepuff.
Yeah. It sounds like a cereal to me. Hufflepuff cereal.
I
just had to throw that out there.
Does.
Okay.
I always wonder how she came up with so many of the names. The spells and stuff, it's like almost exact translations for like Latin words. Like
yes, I read that.
It's like if you want to open a door, it's like a Latin translation for key or something. Like it's exactly.
She was just trying to make it seem like fantastical and using Latin to do that, which I thought was kind of ingenious.
So now I speak Latin.
Yes. Not pig Latin.
There we go.
Real stuff here.
But some of the names are so fun. So it's just
she is super creative. I will give her that. So Hufflepuff. Tell us about Hufflepuff.
Known for friendship.
Okay.
Hard work and patience.
Oh, so
I would sort you into Hufflepuff, I would say.
Oh, thank you, Hufflepuff. I don't know if I wanted to be Harry Potter or not, but I guess I'm not. No, I don't got the lightning bolt there. Hufflepuff. Okay. I'm Hufflepuff. I got to read more about that.
You could also be in Ravenclaw, maybe.
What's Ravenclaw?
Ravenclaw is knowledge, intelligence, and wit.
Oh, wit. Well, I don't know if I'm witty. You're more witty.
I know. Maybe I'm a raven.
Are you? What do you think you are?
I don't know. I've never been sorted, guys. I know.
You've never been sorted?
You can go to her website.
Get the hat.
And it'll sort you. But I've never done it before.
They don't know what sort is.
I know.
Half the people
you're right. All right. Okay.
Here we go.
There's a sorting hat, not unlike this one I'm wearing on my head. And
this is Halloween, folks.
It chooses the house that you go into, so you don't even get to choose what you get to go into. You put it on your head, and it tells you.
It's like you're predestined.
Yes.
Let's get some biblical analogy.
There we go.
God has predestined us with certain gifts and talents,
yes.
And so this sorting hat tells you who you are.
Who you're gonna go into.
Okay.
And the last house is Slytherin.
Uh-oh. Sounds like a
slithering snake.
Uh-oh.
And a snake is its like emblem.
Oh.
Did you know that they're like cunning and most of them are evil? And, oh, wait, does that sound biblical to you? That's crazy.
And people are chosen in this. We could talk about free will and predestination all in one in this
Here
whole,
we go.
Just that one section. Sorry, I went.
No, that's fine. So it's Slytherin, you're resourceful, you're cunning, and you're ambitious.
Ambitious. Okay, so we have 2 of them that are pretty good, and cunning maybe not so much.
Those are your major.
What do you think you are?
I always say I'm Gryffindor because who doesn't want to be like Harry and like his friends?
Well, you just called me, Hufflepuff, a cereal. I mean, come on. I can see it when I come on stage now. The sermon bumper is going to be lead pastor, home of Hufflepuff. People be like, what in the world are they talking about?
Oh, Thank my gosh. I could be Ravenclaw.
You think so? Tell me about Ravenclaw again. What is it one more time?
Knowledge.
Oh,
Intelligence.
yeah. Yes. And wit.
But wit.
Oh.
The wit kind of
I'll give you knowledge and wit. I'll give you that, Ravenclaw. But you're also courageous, I think.
Well, I like to think so, but put me in a room with a spider. Probably not.
Great point. Ravenclaw. Okay.
So, what do you think about the magic in the books? As you read it, what did you think of it?
Well, reading half of the book, I'll say this. I'll say that the magic was not like as intense as I thought it was going to be.
Okay.
Like I thought it was going to be like layout potion. I mean, I don't even know what I had in my head.
Yeah, you thought you might read an actual potion.
I remember from the 90s, like, ooh, Harry Potter, stay away from it. It's going to infect you. You're going to become,
a Potterhead.
Well, I don't know about Potterhead, but you're going to become some witchcraft that's going to affect you. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying it's really innocuous. Mm-hmm. It's pretty much like kind of whatever. They're like, I mean, you put yourself into it and you're like, well, they're just learning like lessons in school. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what it is. And Harry's in this school and he's learning and he's kind of fighting the forces of evil.
Yeah.
It's not unlike Star Wars. It's not unlike a lot of other things going on. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if you were looking for something specific about that.
No, I was wondering if if you were like, it made me uncomfortable. Or
no, not really. Now, I would say this. I would not want my 11-year-old kid to read this book.
It's hard for me to know 11 because I'm nowhere near that age.
I know, yeah.
So it's
like
really
my
hard.
boys right now at 13, I would totally let them read it.
Okay.
Because they're in this fantasy world already.
Yeah.
And it's like all around them. And they're grounded enough in who they are. Like they know who Jesus is. They love God. They've got a real strong foundation. So this kind of book like this, they'll see Christian themes in it.
Yeah, naturally.
Which I think you should be old enough to be able to see that in
Okay.
it. I mean, that's my perspective as a parent. I wouldn't let a young kid read it. So.
Okay.
Or unless a parent is reading it with them and then they're being able to help navigate through with them. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, listen, I recently reread all of the Chronicles of Narnia series.
Okay. Yes.
And I was shocked that people read that to their kids, or that kids read that.
Yeah.
So I totally get like things that are intended as like kids books or whatever. You're like, wow, these are like really intense. Like,
yes, exactly. See, so my boy just started reading the Chronicles of Narnia for the first time.
Okay.
And he's loving it.
Yeah.
So
and
I think
like
that's a perfect age.
Yeah. Fine.
Absolutely.
Totally.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It's things that are deemed kids books, and you're like, well, should we like specify that maybe it's more of a older middle school?
Yeah. Exactly.
Or like, something.
Kind of.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Yeah. What do you think about him? Like, what do you think makes him like so popular? What do you feel like is like the thing that like really gets people?
I think again, and this is what I think makes Chronicles of Narnia, Star Wars, Harry Potter. The reason why these things are so popular is because these books create a really bad, evil character.
Yeah.
There's a fight between good and evil.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, we are in a struggle. I'm sorry, I'm going back to the Bible thing again.
No, yeah.
I'm not sorry about that, but I'm just saying it's a real issue that we live through, not only from why is the Bible a best time seller of all time? Not only is it supernatural, but there's this fight between good and evil. And obviously God is in control, and it's not like so much a fight for him, but he's letting this play out, and these books do the very same thing. You have a very evil character.
Yeah.
And you don't know who that character is. There's some mystery, which I like that as well. So at the very beginning, you have this young kid whose parents are died. He's an orphan. And like, I think that resonates with a lot of kids.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty powerful.
Yeah.
And then you have some bullying going on. I think kids resonate with that in the deal. You have competition. Wanting to be able to fit in is another big theme in there as well. So, I mean, lots of stuff that resonates with tons of kids.
Something really interesting about Voldemort, by the way, that she says in this book is that
again, he's the main evil
really
character.
Bad guy.
Right.
You don't know what he looks like.
Yeah.
Is he still alive? Was he defeated? It's this whole thing. And most of the people in the wizarding world won't say his name. There's power in his name.
Yes,
there's a whole thing there. And it's just really interesting. And Harry's not afraid to say Voldemort's name.
Exactly.
He just says it.
Yeah.
And it's just really, that's
Which
really
I
interesting.
think is so cool. As Christians, we have that same perspective that we give too much power and too much influence to the devil. Like, really, he doesn't have that much authority over. We just went through this whole series not too long ago about thriving in Babylon.
Yeah.
And one of the things that the pastor makes a point, who writes this book, Thriving in Babylon, he says we give too much power to the enemy, and he just doesn't have that power over us, because greater is he who's in us than he's in the world.
Yeah.
Than he who's in the world.
Call him who he is
Come
and
on.
move on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. So anyways, pretty
It's
cool
really
stuff.
good.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I love this book. I think you should read it. You should listen to it and let us know what you think. If you think it's evil, I'd love to know. Just I'm
Be
interested.
honest,
Be honest.
right?
I'm
yeah,
so
it's okay.
interested.
We don't all
in
have
it.
to believe the same thing.
Yes.
So.
And, I have a friend who does this when she can't sleep. She sorts biblical characters into Harry Potter houses. What? And I would just love to know if you're a Harry Potter fan, who you think would be in what house? John the Baptist, Jesus, like what houses are they supposed to be in?
My jaw just dropped. I want you to know about that.
You can sort anybody you want in a house. I'm going to take the quiz, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'm going to comment and tell you guys what I'm actually sorted into. And let us know what you guys are sorted into. Also, always let us know what you want us to be talking about here at the Crosspoints Podcast.
We would love to hear that.
You can email us at Podcast at crosspointschurch.com. Do you know that I'm going to remember that one day? One day. And also, don't forget to like our podcast, subscribe, and leave us a rating if you're listening, not watching, but you're just listening on any podcast app. Leave us a 5-star rating or a not 5-star rating. Only leave us a rating if you're nice.
There you go.
And no, I'm just kidding. Leave us a rating. It helps us a lot, and it helps other people find us.